Hello, my name is Jesse Morrison, and I'm going to talk to you guys about my 20 time project and some of my failures and some of my accomplishments this year. And I had two projects this year, and one I somewhat succeeded at, and the other one I did not succeed at. And I'm going to talk about the one I didn't succeed at first. And the first one I tried to do was a nonprofit organization. And the nonprofit organization was for young kids that are just starting out school or middle schoolers or even like freshmen in high school freshmen that are incoming into high school, and it was to like help them cover backpacks, books, clothes, and some home items like food or lights and stuff like that. And like I talked to my assistant principal because he was my mentor, and then he was telling me about some of the kids in the school who don't have or who have to get jobs outside of school and can't participate in everything because of how their family income is. And then I wanted to implement a program that would help that, but I ran into a few obstacles that completely stopped my whole thought process with the program because I didn't realize when I was thinking about making a big program like that I would need all this money, time, resources, manpower, and a lot of space, and I didn't have a lot of space to hold all the items that I was trying to get for the kids. And when I realized that, I kind of realized that I had to change my program. So then I was talking to Miss O'Neill, and I was like, can I come up with a new idea for my 20 time project? And she was like, that's fine. And so I came up with, I wanted to be a hall monitor that like encourages kids to get to class on time and stops bad behavior and like helps out the school climate. So it took me probably 2 weeks to get started, and me and my mentor, we worked and we talked about it, and it was basically a lot of just learning how to talk to people. And I got to meet a lot of new kids, and just it was mostly observation at first. Like I would have to just in fifth hour on Fridays look out in the hallway and see kids what they were doing, running up and down the hallway, making a lot of noise, and I had to figure out a way to talk to them because me being the same age as them, they're not really going to listen to me if I'm like, hey, you sit down and all that. It was kind of weird. So I kind of came up with a way to reward kids for doing the right thing, and that was like if they had a pass, I would give them a RAM perk or RAM card because we have drawings every week on Fridays, and then their name would go to the box. And then a few weeks, I gave out some RAM perks, and some kids actually won, and it was like, oh, the hall monitor signed that for me, and it was pretty cool. But then I also ran into some obstacles with this project, and it was a lot of time management and figuring out how to make everything work. Because my assistant principal was sometimes busy on Fridays, and I would have to figure out another day of the week I can meet with him. And then some of the hall monitors that I wanted to implement to my program were busy sometimes, and I had to figure out a way for them to. I had to figure out a way to work around their schedule. So, and then it was somewhat resources because I had to figure out an outfit or a uniform that hall monitors would wear. And then towards the end, in the last 2 weeks, I kind of figured out. Me and Mr. Jackson kind of talked, and we figured out that orange vest would work because he had extra orange vest, and we were going to use those. And then I used those for 2 days, and I started I started recording the second day, and that was it was interesting, and that's going to be later on in my video. But it was like I wanted to do a program that was going to show kids that it's real cool to do the right things, and it's cool to help out, but I didn't want to make a program where it was like making more work for the teachers, like they would have to fill out referrals and all that. So then at the end of the day, me and Mr. Jackson sat down. We looked over some of the applications that I wrote up because I had to write up an application, so it was like a filed way of who was going to be a hall monitor, and they would know like what class they were going to be in, and that was a pretty interesting obstacle too because it took a lot. So I would have to figure out who was going to be the right type of person to be a hall monitor, and that was kind of difficult too because I wanted to pick kids that other kids in the high school would look up to and wouldn't want to challenge their authority all the time. So I eventually came down to the decision of two hall monitors, Emily Essemeyer and Elijah Hedges, because they're two kids that most kids get along with and they look up to them. And during that project, we had to figure out that it wasn't going to be easy because all of the kids that we had to manage and all the hallways we had to look after, it was going to be an interesting task. So I say that my first project was not a success because I didn't have everything I needed, and I didn't plan ahead. But my second project was somewhat of a success, and I plan on figuring out a way to implement it for like the next coming years and try to make a hall monitor program continue to go. And that's one of the hardest things I had to think about towards. And some things that I would do differently about my project is I would most definitely plan ahead, draw a timeline for way down the line so I could set small goals and reach all those small goals. And then what would I tell the seniors next year? The next year's seniors, I would tell them to do something that they're passionate about, do something they really care about, or also to try to make a difference. Figure out a way to make a difference. It doesn't have to be a big thing like trying to start up with your own organization or something. It could be something as small as just picking up 10 pieces of trash every day that'll help out the planet. And then my final thoughts on my project was I learned a lot by failing. I learned more from failing my first project than I did from kind of succeeding in my second one, and that was only because I learned about all of the resources, all the time management, all of the thoughts you got to put in to make something start from the ground and go all the way up to the top. And then in my second project, I also learned a lot because I also learned how to work with somebody who also has as busy schedule as me, and then trying to find people to fit into the schedule. But I want to thank you guys for listening to me talk, and I'm going to show you some clips from our project and what we're doing. Thank you.